Some flowers are rarer than gold. Others only appear for a few hours and then vanish forever. And some even pose questions for science that still have no clear answer today. Why do some plants exist in only one place on Earth? Why do they die as soon as humans try to possess them? And what makes a flower so rare that losing it would wipe out half of its entire species? Today, we're discovering 7 of the world's most incredible and rarest flowers. And we're starting with a plant of which only 2 specimens remain on this planet. Top 1. The rarest flower in the world. Middle Mist Red. Imagine owning something so exceptionally rare that there's only one other specimen of it left on the entire Earth. It's not a diamond or a lost work of art, but a living, breathing plant. The Middle Mist Red is now considered the rarest flower in the world. Its story begins in the early 19th century when a botanist brought this plant from Asia to Europe, unaware that it would soon completely disappear from its native habitat. What makes this flower so terrifying isn't just its beauty, but its fragile existence. Today, only 2 known specimens exist worldwide, strictly protected, because the loss of even one would already wipe out half of the entire species. Despite its name, its color isn't a pure red, but a deep, intense pink, with perfectly arranged petals often mistaken for an ideal ornamental rose. This flower is more than just a botanical wonder. It's a silent symbol of how close beauty and extinction lie in nature. Top 2. The Ghost Orchid. If the previous flower impressed with its tangible rarity, this one almost seems like it doesn't exist at all. The so-called ghost orchid is one of the world's most mysterious plants, as it defies almost all the rules we know about flowers. It has no leaves. Instead, it survives solely through a network of flat, greenish roots that perfectly adapt to tree bark and remain invisible to the untrained eye. For most of the year, this plant is practically imperceptible. Only when it decides to bloom does something eerie happen. From the seemingly lifeless root network, a delicate stem appears, at the end of which a snow-white flower opens. This creates the impression that it floats freely in the air, like a ghost in the shadow of the forest. However, its beauty is deceptive. This orchid is difficult to cultivate and almost always dies if removed from its natural environment. Precisely, this elusiveness makes every encounter with it a rare and fleeting moment that many botanists never experience. Top 3. The Corpse Flower. After the almost invisible delicacy of the ghost orchid, we now encounter its complete opposite. This plant isn't designed to be beautiful, but unforgettable. The so-called corpse flower is one of the largest and most extreme floral structures in the world. When it blooms, it can reach a height of over 10 feet, effortlessly towering over an adult human. But its true fame isn't due to its size, but its smell. This flower blooms very rarely. Sometimes many years or even decades pass between 2 blooming phases. When it finally does, it releases an intense stench, similar to that of decaying flesh. This smell is no coincidence but a sophisticated strategy to attract insects that are usually drawn to carrion. The experience is as spectacular as it is short-lived. After only 1 or 2 days, the massive structure collapses and dies. The corpse flower reminds us that nature doesn't always associate beauty with pleasant forms or scents, but with pure survival logic. Top 4. The Golden Orchid. After the raw extremity of the corpse flower, we now enter a completely different world, where rarity is equated with patience and value. This orchid is considered one of the most exclusive plants of all, not because of its size, but because of the time it demands. Anyone who wants to grow it from a seed must wait up to 15 years before it blooms for the first time, a period in which a human grows from an infant to a teenager. Precisely this extreme slowness makes every single bloom an extraordinary event. Its appearance is unmistakable. The laterally spreading petals look almost like outstretched arms, giving the plant an elegant, almost aristocratic aura. Fine patterns and stripes on the petals seem hand-painted, enhancing its exclusive character. However, its rarity and high value have a dark side. Despite strict protection, it is a coveted target for illegal trade. This orchid is thus not only a symbol of botanical beauty, but also a silent victim of human greed. Top 5. The Queen of the Night. If we previously talked about flowers that cost thousands, we now encounter a paradoxical wonder of nature. This flower is considered the most valuable in the world, even though you can never buy it. The reason for this is simple and tragic at the same time. It cannot be possessed. The so-called Queen of the Night follows no ordinary rhythm like other plants. It doesn't wait for sunlight but unfolds its beauty exclusively in the deepest darkness. Shortly before midnight, its radiant white petals open and emit a soft, mysterious fragrance. But this spectacle is extremely short-lived. Just a few hours later, even before the first ray of sun touches the ground, the flower already begins to wilt. Its fragility makes it unique. As soon as you try to cut or transport it, it dies almost instantly. Even in its natural environment, its life is limited to a single night. This is precisely why it is considered a symbol of transience and reminds us that the most precious things in life often exist only for a moment. Top 6. The Jade Vine. Having left behind the fleeting beauty of the Queen of the Night, we now encounter a plant that looks as if it has been painted with an impossible color. The jade vine fascinates primarily with its hue, a luminous, almost neon-like turquoise green that is extremely rare in nature. Many people at first glance believe the color has been digitally altered because the human eye hardly associates this shade with real plants. But not only its color is extraordinary, so is its shape. The jade vine doesn't grow as a single flower but forms long, hanging clusters that can reach over a meter in length. These hanging inflorescences resemble shimmering waterfalls, cascading like natural chandeliers from the canopy. Each individual flower has a curved, almost claw-like shape, perfectly adapted to its natural pollinators. As spectacular as this sight is, it is becoming increasingly rare. Due to the progressive destruction of its habitat, these luminous flowers are increasingly disappearing from the wild. The jade vine shows that nature's color palette is far bolder than we often imagine. Top 7. The Parrot's Beak. At first glance, this flower almost looks like a work of art inspired by an animal. The parrot's beak owes its name to a shape that astonishingly resembles the curved beak of an exotic bird. The blossoms glow in intense orange, red, and yellow tones and stand out sharply against its silvery green foliage. This striking appearance makes it one of the most unusual flowers of all. But behind this colorful facade lies a story of survival on the brink of extinction. For a long time, this plant was considered extinct in the wild. It was assumed that it only existed through human care. Only later was it successfully reintroduced under strictly controlled conditions. Nevertheless, it remains extremely rare and vulnerable. Its shape is particularly mysterious. Scientists suspect that it once adapted to certain animals that no longer exist today. Without these natural partners, its survival is severely limited. The parrot's beak is therefore a living witness to past ecosystems, a flower waiting for a world that no longer exists. These 7 flowers show how fragile and, at the same time, incredibly creative nature can be. Some exist for only a few hours, others have been fighting for survival for centuries. If you want to discover more fascinating stories like these, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. That way, you won't miss any more wonders of our world.